What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Good Friday. We've got ourselves the Easter holiday. I'm sorry, starting off with that. Dear Lord, help us all. But I hope you're all having a great day. Having an early one here with the holiday season, it being a special day for me. So spending time with the family, having myself a wonderful day so far. So I hope you're all having a great one. Appreciate you tuning in, but I'm not going to leave you hanging. It is Fan Friday. So we are here taking all of your questions, answering those from the mailbag, and appreciate all of you that got those questions in. Was busting some balls with Drew earlier. Had to break it down, break it up, all of the things, dude. It was pretty funny, but we'll get into that here shortly. I'm going to do this as quick as I can. Got about 20 minutes here tonight. So hope you're all enjoying the start to your weekend. Hope you're all ready for the holiday here. Let's rock and roll, though. Look, thank you very much for the birthday wish. And it's been a great birthday so far. I got some great gifts and always enjoy being able to spend time with the family. The young ones got off from school, so it was a great day so far. The lady took off from work, so I'm enjoying my day. Definitely enjoying my day. So hope you're all having a great one out there. Yo, my man, Drew. And, I was saying about, having to break it up and then break it down. Break it down. Okay, I'm too old for that. Now, appreciate you, though, getting that in, and it's a good one because I know you came in at the end there talking about those running backs the other day, but we're going to talk about those running backs here shortly. And you've got a great question in, so we're going to get that in here. But appreciate you, my man. And, let's go, my man Anthony in here. Yo, appreciate you, dude. Let's go, Birds. And look, it's going to have to be 20 minutes, but I'd love to hear everything on your mind, so let's get it. And appreciate you, dude, for the tip there, the birthday gift. I appreciate you, man. And you're always somebody I can rely on coming in here, and you've always got something great to say. And each Fan Friday, you've made it worth, making these shows because, you, Liz, and now you've got guys like Luffy in here, and we've got Tim and so many great people, Nina, bringing in such great topics. And I appreciate that, because it's your show. I do as much as I can throughout, even the off season, bringing you what I can, but appreciate answering everything I can for you guys. And I appreciate you for the happy birthday. Appreciate you for that super chat, all that great stuff, dude, that you guys do to support me. I cannot thank you enough when I see you retweeting it and doing all those things. It's awesome, man. And I really appreciate when you guys get in, and you have a good one tonight. And it's like, that's what I want from you guys, extensive questions where we can break it down, get into it. And, we're going to do that here. And I think that, this off season, we're all still very hungry, right? We're all still reeling from, obviously what happened, but we're going to rely on Howie and trust in Howie and this organization to go into this draft. And obviously we've seen what they've done in free agency so far and bring us back into contention next year. And I think we will be Super Bowl contenders because I think that this team, with the ammo they have, we're going to add pieces we need to. And we've got a lot of pieces already in place. And look, it's going to depend on how things go. But look, there's still a long time before this season starts. And we've got cap space. We've got draft picks. We've got so much that, I think goes into this that people, obviously want to know what's going on a lot of the time. And I saw somebody right before I came on, someone was like, hey, man, like nobody cares about the cap space. I'm like, well, actually, sorry that you're upset about it. But there are a lot of people that, and me, myself, I've loved this kind of stuff since I was a kid. So I enjoy, obviously talking about this stuff with you guys. But I think for me, I'm always going to try to keep you up to date with everything. And then having this kind of show, dude, that's what it's all about. So appreciate you again, my man. And I see we've got some more folks in the chat here. So thank you again, Drew, my man. And we'll get into those fan questions here shortly. Appreciate you, Sean. Thank you, my man. And I'm an old man River now. Appreciate you, Luffy. We'll get to your questions as well. So had to break his down as well. So don't worry. You guys both came with great stuff. So it allows me to really give people a recap of what's going on. Maybe they've missed some of the show. So we'll talk about all that stuff. And happy Easter to you, Matthew. And thank you for the happy birthday. Happy Easter to all of you out there. Hopefully you're having a great weekend and going to get to spend time with whoever the hell you want to there. But look, let's let's talk about this week, man. We got some cap space news. We got to learn that the Eagles have about 18 million, even if, once the draft picks are signed, once the Hurts extension happens, that actually clears up some space. So we talked about that. You guys have seen all those shows. Go check them out if you missed them. But breaking all that stuff down, talking about, what the Eagles have, and the future is still very bright for the Eagles. And you have Jalen Hurts here, man. Like, so here's those cap hit stuff. Here's the cap hit stuff. And again, thank you, Drew, for that. And I'm not sure how that stuff works. It's like still up here, like showing a big thing. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to click it. I don't know how that works, but I appreciate you, my man. And thank you again. But you see these cap hits here. You see that the Eagles have, if you were to look it up, around 20 mil, right under that. So looking at that, you get excited, right? But, then you'll hear someone, oh, well, it hurts and the draft picks. Well, there's a show on that, and I explain all that. So go check that out. But you can see that the Eagles have money as it looks here. But the draft picks, I explain those. You guys can see that you have to replace those draft picks and only those top three as it stands. And look, we're going to, be able to extend Jalen Hurts and save money. So all that stuff's explained. And we talk about that 18 million that we're going to have. So maybe they want to trade for somebody. Maybe they, want to add someone in free agency still. There's still a lot of options. And once I'm done with the draft series, we're going to break down some of the free agents that are still available out there. So go check that out. All of those draft shows, all that stuff. But if you have any questions on it, please feel free to leave that stuff down below. But hope you're all having a good one. Let's jump right into this, though, because we've got a few of these and don't want to leave anyone hanging. I want to answer these to the best of my ability. So we're going to start it off with the first one that came in, and that was from Luffy here. And bring in the good stuff here. I'll be real. We've got a lot of questions, and we broke some things down. And since, I had my official, off-season breakdown, some things have changed. So we'll definitely break that down again once the draft series is over, going into this draft, talking about what we need the most. But in this question here, you can see which position group do you think is the strongest and which one needs the most improvement. So right there in itself, that's something we're going to be talking about during that stuff. But I think for me, you look at this team, and I think the strongest is that quarterback. You have Jalen Hurts. You've got a great backup in Marcus Mariota now, and I'm sure we'll bring in a drafted guy or maybe a 7th rounder, and they'll compete for that 3rd spot. But you've got your quarterback of the future. So that's the strongest. The weakest link, I think you got to add either to the linebacking room or the safety. You lost 2 starters there. I believe Nakobe Dean, though, makes you feel very comfortable. Adding Edmonds, Morrow to both those positions respectively, I think, definitely makes you feel better. But I think you got to add to those. But edge rusher, interior defensive line, corner, I think for the future you got to look because, your corners are getting older. But, man, look, for me, this team, I think that there's it's a strong base right now. I think I like where this team is at. So it's not that like it's weak where I'm like, oh man, like if the season started today, yeah, I'd be like, but I still think we can get the job done against most teams. This offense is going to steamroll. So we're going to need this defense to step up, maybe the punter, things like that. So I think, you could definitely try to bring in some competition for Sippos, hope that he stays healthy and doesn't shank it in the Super Bowl, allowing somebody to get it to the 1-yard line. And anyway, any hoot, those are the positions I feel. And that's a good question there from Luffy. But he also had another part to his question there. He also wanted to add, which positions do you think the Eagles need to upgrade in order to compete at a championship level? So again, I think you need your defense we had the number 1 defense last year, and you could say like, oh, it was number 2 or number 3 because of whatever, but number 1 pass defense, all that great stuff, turnover, sacks. We weren't number 1 in turnovers. I'm just saying we were great at doing turnovers. We were number 1 in sacks, first team in history with 4 players over 10 plus sacks. I mean, we did great, but in the Super Bowl, your punter, you gotta have that, right? You gotta have those kind of things everywhere. So you gotta fill up those creases there, and we're gonna talk about that, man. Heading into this draft, where we need to add. So, try to give that a broad answer because I will be breaking all of that down for you. And I think that this team, not so far away from being right back in contention. I understand that we lost some pieces, but we talked about this before it happened. We were going to lose some pieces, and I think that we're going to be just fine adding more. So let's go. Let's get excited. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, Amber. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you have a very happy Easter to you and yours. But look, we're here taking all your questions, all your comments, or whatever you guys have got right now. I'm just going through these fan questions, and we got a couple more here. But I think that's some great stuff from Luffy. And I think that, I've mentioned it a lot here that I think this team is very close. You have the quarterback of the future. You have a great line. You have great receivers. And the running back room, we talked about that, and we'll get into that. But I think I'm very comfortable with what this offense looks like, right? And running back we'll speak on. But I think that the defense, losing Hargrave, losing linebackers and safeties, that's tough. But look, you're going to add in this draft, and I'm excited to see what we do. And I'm not going to, get ahead of myself and think like, oh, but you're definitely going to add to the defensive side of the ball. And the line is always something we're going to add to. So on both sides of the ball. Now let's get into Liz's question here. And I think it kind of extends then into the next one too. So Liz, appreciate you getting that in. I hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you have a happy Easter. But let's jump right into it here. What move could Howie make during the draft that make you say, I can't believe he did that? So I think for me, obviously there's a lot of chatter, as there always is during the draft time. And look, we try to break it down. We do our thing here. And, just trying to analyze what I can from, what I've seen and what I can break down. And it's like, look, I think for me, there's a lot of holes on this team, but it's always going to be best player availables. And there's a lot of really good players. So who's going to fall? Who is taking who? There's a lot of talk. The quarterbacks could go in the top 10, but I don't know if that happens. So how many these great players are going to be left at 10? We'll see. I think a lot of moves can happen. The Eagles could trade back, this, that, the other thing. But if they would take Bijan Robinson, which everyone talks about right at 10, not trade back, things like that, that we've talked about, I think if we just stay still and take a running back at 10, that's going to definitely surprise me, throw me a curveball there. So I don't know. I think that would definitely be a move that made me say, what? Because I love the kid. And let's kind of get into that here. So Drew, appreciate you too. And Liz, thank you so much for your question. I'm not trying to cut you short, but it kind of goes into what Drew's got here a little more extensively. So not trying to cut you off in any way, shape, or form. But, his question, I first want to give his thoughts. And, when I was making the joke that had to break it down, first I had to break it up. So I wanted to give his thoughts first. And he's with Run the Damn Ball. And you can toss that up there. I love it. But we're always going to be running the ball, right? I think that's something this team does, but we'll continue here. I'm not against drafting Bijan. I just don't think it's a high priority to particularly get him. Most fans' thought process is that Bijan makes our offense unstoppable. Then he asked those questions that we're going to get into in a second here, but you'll see Bijan makes our offense unstoppable was the final part. And that's kind of what he gets into. But look, let's finish this up and then I'll get those questions. But I don't think it's that simple. Miles had issues, but I'm under the impression he got better. He's got more touches. Hard to do when our team was pass first offense. There were games on the ball twice in the first half. Teams defensively decided to key on Miles and force Jalen to run later in the year. The offense struggled against pressure at times because of poor play designs. Bijan is different from Miles. I think philosophy may dictate Bijan's value. So, look, this team, for me, they do pass, but they were 29th in the league in pass play percentage. They were actually 4th in rush play percentage. So they run the ball a lot, but a lot with Hurts, a lot of the RPO, a lot of things. So those numbers get skewed, right? I think for me, adding a back like him allows you to have a running back like him in the game where you can hand it off a lot more north-south going on. He can run between the tackles, outside the tackles. I think that a lot of good stuff there. But, I think that's one thing. This team's definitely likes to run the ball. That's for sure. And we would like to run the ball more. And I think, since Sirianni's been coach, it's like we have the most rushes, over 1,000. And it's like 50 more than any other team in the 2 years he's been a head coach. So we like to run the ball. And I think we would like a running back where we don't want it by committee. And this guy can pass protect. He can do those things. So let's get into your questions here. So this was kind of in the middle, but does adding Bijan make our team unstoppable? If you remember, I highlighted that unstoppable part. So if so, how does it make this team unstoppable? And if not, what changes are needed? So we kind of went over what changes were needed on this team. But, for me, this is something we talked about during. I got to do the quarterback and running back. I'll get to receiver probably tomorrow. Probably not going to be able to do it tonight. But we're going to go through each position during the draft, talk about where the Eagles should focus, this, that, the other thing. But for running backs, I talked about this. I'm not going to be super upset if we don't get Bijan because I think guys at 10, if Jalen Carter falls, if there's things that happen where, okay, you don't get Bijan, but you're at 30, then you can pick someone, up that's great at linebacker or safety. There's a lot of great guys in this draft. I think for me, you can look to get a running back in, maybe the later rounds, and we talked about that where it's like a Charbonnet, a chain. I think so many guys that are explosive in different ways and do things that could add to this team, and we've talked about it, man. But I think, look, and dude, I was like, I'm just gonna try to fit. I was like, I'll break the questions from the different stuff, but I appreciate it, man, and it's great stuff here. But look, I think it is really great stuff, and I thank you, Clarence, for that. But what he does for this team is, obviously he's a guy, and I'm sorry, I'm like seeing stars at this time if you're wondering why I'm like weird now. But gonna try to break this down while hopefully I don't pass out on screen here. But I think he's got great vision. He's got all those great things we talked about during the show that he makes him a great running back. That he's not just this guy that another Miles Sanders. I think it's more like adding a Saquon Barkley and he's not on that level yet. Maybe a little bit. I think people knock him for his power. That's one thing people say, but 104 broken tackles last year, the most in college. So I think the guy he's one of the most fun people to watch. His footwork, just everything he does as a running back, he is fun to watch. He's somebody, we talked about that could change the game. And in this RPO offense, I think he'd fit in just well. I think, having a running back like him, that just adds another element where you talk about Miles Sanders. I think, he danced a lot of different things, but he had a great year, man. But I think a lot of running backs. So it's like, for me, Bijan would be phenomenal. And this offense would be unstoppable, but so would like a Zach Charbonnet in this offense. I think you have Kenny Gainwell, Rashad Penny for a reason. They bring different things to the table. So I don't think you necessarily that we'd be against if he falls something, maybe you get him. But I think for me, you don't have to get Bijan Robinson. And I understand what you mean because positional value wise, if Jalen Carter's there or there's a different position, you're going to want this guy to be around. When you draft someone in the first round, people, it's like, oh, then you have to give them a contract. It's like you want them to be good. You want to give them a contract after their rookie contract is up. So you give them that deal. A running back, I'm not so sure you get that. So at 10, but then you look at the other side and it's like, well, what if we could win, a couple Super Bowls if this guy is that unstoppable, if he's on the LT level people talk about. And it's like, I'm not going to put him there yet. But he's good. He's real good. So I think that we could see some things. What kind of trades you think we could cap space after? So go check out that video, Clarence, on what the money happens with Jalen Hurts after that extension, all that stuff, and the cap space, all those. But Jeffrey Simmons just re-signed with the Titans, so I know a lot of you guys wanted that to happen. Devin White's still out there. A lot of things could happen. We've got a lot of cap space. We've got draft picks. So don't be surprised if we make a trade during the draft, after the draft, sign someone after the draft. So we talked about all those things. I am seeing stars. I wish I had water sitting somewhere around here. Of course I don't for once, but apologize. But I think I answered all that for you, Drew. I think Bijan would be great, but there's some really good running backs in this draft that we talked about. Mo Ibrahim that you get in later rounds. I think, a lot of good stuff, dude. A lot of really good stuff that we talked about with the running backs, and we'll talk about, with the wide receiver 3. So you talk about certain positions that you could look at. I think interior D-line, you're looking at a guy like Jalen Carter. That's always somewhere that you can improve. I know they like Skoronski. I know Paris Johnson, Osiris Torrance, somebody maybe at 30 you could get. So there's a lot of stuff. But I'm trying, dude. What the hell is happening? But no, hope I was able to answer that for you. And I think that Bijan is a phenomenal player. And he could be one of the best backs in the league. But if you're able to get a guy that could be the best at his position for much longer and for better value, I think you saw what happened with, the Cowboys taking Zeke at 4, and that doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter that Howie hasn't taken a guy in the first. He took a receiver at 10, so he could. It's possible, and they love him, but I don't know. We've talked about maybe they trade back if all those guys are gone. Maybe Jalen Carter's gone, all these guys that you like. So you trade back and you maybe acquire, Bijan at a later pick. I wouldn't be against it. I think he could and he's much better than those guys I mentioned, but go check that running back out. And I definitely will, but I'll be back. And if not, you guys have yourselves an effing awesome Easter. Thank you, Drew, again for the super chat. I really appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys got any questions, anything, I'm going to see you later. But no, I really got to get going. I am seeing stars here. But you guys, appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for their happy birthday wishes. Again, thank you, Drew, for the super chat. The great questions from Liz, Luffy, and Drew. Hopefully I was able to answer all that. But you guys, comment down below. Let me know. We'll keep talking. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Gonna, I don't know, eat something, drink some water. And I will be back tomorrow. We'll keep breaking the draft down. Let me know if you guys watch those draft videos. But have yourself a happy Easter. I'll talk to you soon. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith. This is On the Road to Victory. And until next time, say it with me. Go Birds!